like the world and the things you can do in Legion, it's so crazy and fun.
We are Spooky Live.
We are
We are
live.
Spooky Live.
Hello.
Ooh.
It's alive!
Spooky.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the special Halloween episode of the Link Cable Gaming Podcast. I'm a ghost, and I'm your host.
Ooh. With the most.
That was
I've been sitting on that all day. I've been waiting to use that pun literally since I woke up this
Nice.
morning. So hey guys, great costumes. Thanks for dressing up for
Thank
the
you.
show.
I made it myself.
Yeah, it looks great. I mean, you were up all night just kind of painting in the fine details. It's funny because
Actually,
I
it was
did
issued
make
to
this
me.
myself.
Oh, really?
I figured.
Mine's
This was
from
actually
Target.
issued
So.
to me by the UNSC.
Yours is what, sir?
No.
Did you say yours is carpet?
No, mine? No, I said from Target.
Oh, from
This
Target.
is from Target.
This is just my carpet. I pulled up a rug and I just turned it into pizza.
Just put pepperonis on it,
Yeah.
right?
No,
Yeah.
mine's game related though, so I'm saying I'm the missing piece from Pac-Man.
Ah. And I'm the ghost from Pac-Man.
Oh wow, we fit really
He's
well
the ghost,
together.
and I'm the Master Chief from Pac-Man.
Yeah. So this is the special Pac-Man edition of this episode. So hello everyone, happy Halloween. I know it's
Hello,
not yet Halloween, but we
spooky.
do shows every Sunday, so it's Halloween today.
Ooh, spooky
Our
Halloween.
spooky episode. So, welcome to the Link Cable Gaming Podcast. We're going to be doing a special show tonight. We didn't dress up for nothing. So
A
instead of
spooky
going
dress up.
through the news of the week, which is a pretty light week overall, there wasn't a whole lot to really go over. We decided we were going to just spend the whole time talking about our favorite spooky games.
Games.
So that's the show. We're going to talk about spooky games.
Yay,
I love
spooky.
putting on the voice. I could put on the voice every single episode.
I actually love the voice. It is making this night for me. I'm like, yes, it's spooky. I definitely
The
feel the
ghost-
Halloween
Spooky.
vibe.
The ghost costume gives me confidence.
Alex from Halloween Past. Alex is the spooky ghost from Halloween Past.
Yeah, that's me.
We're not even sure that's Alex. It's just a ghost.
Yeah, it's just a ghost. You don't even know.
You can't even
Ghost
see
with
him.
glasses on the inside.
Yeah, well,
All I see is a pair of headsets and glasses.
oh, so spooky.
That's
That's
his
that's
underwear just
invisible
flipped upside
tonight.
down. Those are the leg holes.
my long johns. Up here in Canada, it is so cold.
Your long johns. So what is
Froze to death. That's his.
to get our spooky stuff off? I mean, what is everybody doing for their spooky Halloween? Do they have like a spooky traditions they do, or some scary something?
Usually I dress up my dog in like a Halloween costume. This year I picked a little devil because he's a small, tiny dog.
Oh,
I'm gonna like shake him. I'm gonna scare him at children that come by.
okay, that sounds good.
My dog is also like this small, and he's not intimidating at all.
Not at all. What about
No,
you,
not at
Alex
all.
Ghost?
Usually a Halloween, I have a buddy who has his birthday close to Halloween, so we usually do like a costume birthday party. But that's not happening this year because I don't know if you heard, but there's a global pandemic.
What?
So we're not. Yeah, it's breaking news.
Breaking news on Link Cable Podcast, everyone.
So this year we're probably going to actually play a spooky Dungeons and Dragons session.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, so
I'd love to watch that.
we don't stream it.
Aw.
So
Too
Ah,
bad.
spooky.
but yeah, so I think we're going to do that. Gaming wise, I usually always every year I'll pick a scary game to play just to get into like the Halloween spirit.
yeah.
And we'll get into that in a bit when I talk about my spooky game of the week.
Ooh. Yeah, I do the same thing.
What do you do,
usually.
Kevin?
Usually I'll pass out candy, but My wife and I, we moved into our house about 3 years ago in this big subdivision, and we were all excited. We're going to have all these kids for candy, and the last few years, we've gotten maybe 2 kids total. It's pretty pathetic.
What?
Yeah, our neighborhood is a lot older in general, so it's more of grandparents than parents, so there's not many kids. So we're hoping in a few more years when they move on, more younger people moving with kids, hopefully, because I love handing out candy to all the kids. But then we end up buying this giant bag when they become ghosts. We'll buy this big bag of candy from Sam's Club, and then we end up just eating it all ourselves. So usually just ends
Hell
in
yeah, that's
unhealthy eating habits.
basically like most parenthood.
But I usually
Just eat all
I
your
am
kids'
looking forward.
chocolate.
What's that?
I am looking forward to November 1st. Of just like going to like a Walmart and being like, well, this is all on sale and it's all
Let's
for
stack
me.
up.
Yeah.
Actually, my favorite part about Halloween is like the 2 days after Halloween when I get to go into like Spirit Halloween and everything is like 60, 70, 80, and 90% off. And I get like my sweet merch for next year. Come on, Spirit Halloween. I want a Vault Boy costume for next year. Give me one of those.
You know what I really want? I don't know if you guys have those in the States, but like I don't know if they're in the States or Canada, but Home Depot has started selling these 12-foot tall skeletons
Yes.
for your lawn.
I saw them. They're here.
Ooh.
And I want one so bad. I don't even have a lawn.
I was like,
live in
we're
an
going to put it in
apartment,
your apartment.
and I want one.
I just want to
I
put
don't
it in the
care.
apartment.
I'll put
They're
it
pretty
anywhere.
cool.
Like, it's
I
so
have seen
cool.
those.
They're so
pretty
cool.
Pretty cool.
Oh,
All right, so
Did you?
games.
I just quick question.
Oh.
Did you guys want to talk about the what games we played this week, or jump into like our spooky games?
Well, mine are both, so it doesn't matter to me.
Ah.
That's why I'm so excited to talk about mine, because it's spooky and I played it this week.
oh. You
So,
can start. the
okay,
conversation.
I don't have a whole lot going on for this week, but I did play a spooky game. So
Which one?
I played Luigi's Mansion 3 as my spooky
Ooh.
game. Actually, so I played it actually last year on Halloween. That was my spooky game I played last year. And I played it, looks like my save file was from November 4th of last year. That was the last time I played. So I went back to it. I went back to it and they're playing it a little bit, but my sister and her husband and my wife and I were celebrating my birthday today, and they're actually still here, and I had my sister start her own file on my wife's account on the Switch, so she's been playing it, and I helped her try to figure out. So they're actually still playing. They were supposed to be leaving, but they're too excited to play. And then my sister keeps yelling at her husband, going, "We're going to buy this game tonight. We're going to buy it." And I'm like, okay, cool. I bet she keeps playing it. She's got to start over now. And I think they're watching too, so I'm going to hear her yelling in the other room. But yeah, she's having a lot of fun.
Luigi's Mansion 3
great
is a
game.
really good game. Like
It is. It's a good game.
I really liked the whole, like, it's such a little thing, but like the Nintendo nerd in me loved that the entire like map and menu things is like Virtual Boy themed.
Yep. I was explaining that to
I
them
was
'cause
like-
they've never heard of it before because it's a little bit before their time. So I was like, you guys know it. This is a real thing. They call it the Virtual Boo. And I'm like, no, that's a real system. It's a Virtual Boy. It's terrible.
Yeah.
People got sick. It's pretty bad.
I've never actually played Luigi's Mansion. I was never
Oh,
such
really?
a Nintendo person, so yeah. How is it?
I take it you're a huge Sony boy because you're wearing that outfit, right? Isn't that?
Right, yeah.
Sony, wearing this makes me support Sony all the way. Down with Microsoft.
Oh my gosh! So I love that. I used to play the first one on GameCube a ton. I never played the second one actually on the DS, and then this one came out. I played it a lot last year and then kind of got away from it. So I'm gonna hopefully finish it up soon. And that's basically all I played this week and my spooky game for right now because it's been a hectic week. Hopefully this next week I'll finally have a little more time to game and play stuff other than. Well, I did play Hearthstone. That was it's like the game I play every week, regardless. A little bit of Hearthstone.
It was our man's birthday, so
Yes.
happy birthday, Kevin.
Yes,
birthday.
I'm now getting old. I'm
Ooh,
one step
happy
closer to 30.
birthday.
Oh.
In 3 weeks, your back is gonna go out.
Yep.
Trust, I called it.
Your beard will
Right
be
here.
your beard will be white. Just,
White and
just
gray.
all white.
I don't care. If my beard turns white, I'm fine with that. As long as my hair stays on my head, that's all I'm worried about.
Really? I actually never minded going the bald route. Just like
Really?
you
Why?
they'd have to take off. I would take off the helmet first, though, but that would reveal my true identity. But yeah, under the helmet, I would think You know, I think I'd take off the hair and keep the beard. I'd look badass.
Badass.
That's what I hope.
But see, my beard gets
You
too
do
big.
look
I
badass.
just look chubby if my beard gets too big. I don't
Aw.
know. We'll see what the future holds. Zahi, what about you? What did you play this week?
So I haven't gotten into. I haven't started my like gameplay of the spooky games. But there will be 2 spooky games I will be playing, exclusively spooky games. But this week I actually have been doing all the spooky events in Gaming Pass.
Ooh.
So yeah. So right now I've been going through and playing like the spooky event right now in Destiny 2, which is like the Haunted Forest. It's been like just trying to get the last exotic themes before it's over the following week, and they're giving out this year a mummy sparrow, so like a vehicle, a mummy ghost, who's like your little AI companion, and a mummy ship.
Spooky.
I hate mummies. That was my best Brandon. That was my best Brandon
Mummies.
Fraser impersonation. Mummies. Shakes head. That was the best the mummy you'll get out of me tonight. So yeah, it's very like mummy themed. So I'm like really digging the aesthetic, and I'm like matching my characters to that aesthetic. And my friends are making fun of me because they're like, "Of course, he is really going all out on the desert mummy aesthetic." I'm like, "What do you want from me, man? It fits. It's spooky, okay?"
Spooky.
So I'm getting some Arab jokes knocked on me. But also, I've been doing the 2 Halloween events that have been going on for Guild Wars right now, which is the Mad King event, and it's really fun. The Halloween event in Destiny is kind of big. It's okay. But, like, the size and scope of the Halloween event in Guild Wars is bloody crazy. Like, I feel like I barely touched the surface of stuff to do. And that is, mind you, coming like at an 8+ year old game, but they have so much spooky content in this 1-2 week event. I'm like not even catching up to anything. It's so fun. And then Apex Legends with my buddies. It's the Fright Night drop. Apex changed up their game style a little bit. They're offering some like cool new spooky skins this
Spooky.
year for their Apex event.
Mm-hmm.
Before it used to be like everyone dropping and launching all at once, and you turn into a zombie if you die, and you have to stop the rest, or like make it to the ship if you're human. But this time, it's a really really cool concept. It's like you drop as a squad of 3, and instead of having to make it to like a target location, this time, if all 3 of your squad mates knock out, like they're dead, they come back as zombies until the last player is alive. And basically, whoever
Cool.
whoever wins the like down to the last squad is the winner, and they can have like 2 still dead teammates still playing the game. Like the zombies are crazy fast and crazy strong and super agile, but they have like no health. So you basically like whoever turns into a zombie is like a scout to see where all the other living players are, and to kind of like distract and disorient them for your squad to like get away or escape or attack all at once. It's like super fun. So, been that.
Yeah, they're
Spooky
doing
games.
so many spooky events and things, and I haven't even touched any of them. I keep seeing like emails saying, "Get in here and do this before it's too late." And
Yeah.
I know like WoW's got their. I think I saw it was yesterday or the day before. I was in WoW for a little bit, and they have the Headless Horseman events and stuff go on, which I don't think
cool.
it happens like every year for years and years and years, and I've never actually done the event where you can go and get. I think it's a mount actually you can get from it. I might be wrong, but
Oh, cool.
you get something cool from it.
I got that. I think I have that mount. I haven't played WoW in over a year, so I don't actually.
Are you
know
gonna
off the top of my head?
wait? You should play again. Why don't you play like right now? It's perfect time to get back to it. They just switched everything and made it so
Because
much
I'm playing
easier.
another MMO.
Well, you should play this one because it's better.
Oh, it really is. I do not like the one I'm playing.
Oh, jeez.
Which one are you playing?
Final Fantasy 11.
Still,
Oh.
I thought you stopped playing that
That's
after
old
like
school.
a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to get far enough into it that I feel like I got my money out of it.
I don't think you're gonna get to that point.
When is that review coming out, Alex?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
it won't be a review. It'll be a something kind of like how is it
Summary?
like playing? What's it like playing Final Fantasy 11 in 2020? I don't want to review it. It would take a million years to review that full game. So.
Yeah. Hold on, guys. I'm about to go on stream as a chief and reveal my secret identity.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Yes. Secretly. The Master Chief was truly I, Zahi, this whole time. No one knew, I bet.
Spoiler.
Spooky.
Spoiler alert for Halo
Guys,
Infinite.
I'm gonna
guys.
reveal who I am underneath mine too. Oh, it's
Yes.
me.
I never would have guessed, Kevin.
Like, oh
Kevin,
shit, we
you
thought it
never
was
told
Jennifer
me.
Lopez.
I thought this whole time I'm streaming with J-Lo.
Are those
She
like
was gonna-
pajama pants? Wait.
No, they're like full body. It's like full body armor the UNSC specifically issued to me.
No, I don't know. Lift up your leg. Let me see the bottom of the pants.
I have them, but they're like too comfy. They're actual shoes that are for the
I was like,
armor,
I
but
think
had
you look like you're a barefooted army man.
no way, Jose. Plus, I even got my Darth Vader coffee mug. You know,
He fights.
Better.
He fights barefoot. It's better for the environment.
and they're clunky, man. They're big. They're big like Mjolnir shoes. I'm like,
So it
I feel
actually
like I'm gonna break the
actually
house.
comes with shoes,
hell yeah!
but like the material is like pajamas.
It's hard fiber steel and carbon.
I guess we'll never get the real answer. Like if they're like jogger pants, like I would consider wearing those as like real pants, or are they just like pajama pant bottoms?
It's a whole one-piece armor suit. They have to
Oh.
take. You have to take it all off.
Wait,
at
the whole
same
thing
time.
is it's not like pants.
Yeah, it's all a one-piece armor set.
Okay, interesting. All right, Mr. Ghost, what do you got going on over there?
So this week, I haven't started. The same thing. I haven't started my spooky game of the week yet. But I'm getting ready for it because it's going to be Splatoon 2. So they're bringing back a Splatfest that is the spooky Halloween one, and I hadn't played Splatoon 2 in a few months. So I've been playing it to just get my Splatoon thumbs back. So I've been playing tons of Splatoon 2 and getting back into that. So I'm actually going to be live streaming the Splatfest next week when it happens. So I didn't want to embarrass myself on the internet. You know, ghosts. We
Oh wait,
blush.
is Splatoon is doing what's the different thing for Halloween they're doing?
Oh god, what's it? Shoot, I don't remember what it is. Hold on, it is a Splatfest. I know that, but I don't know what the topic is.
A Splash Pass?
It's a spooky
Let me look.
splash bash.
A spooky Splash Fest.
Spooky.
It is the Halloween Splatfest. Yes, I know it's back. What is it against? Oh, it's Trick versus Treat.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's
Spooky
spooky.
tricks.
And they're bringing back all like the cosmetic items that you could only get during the first run of it. I already have them all. I just want to play Splatoon 2 for a reason again. So I've been playing tons
Nice.
of Splatoon 2. It holds up. That game is so fun.
Does it actually?
Yeah, Splatoon 2 is great.
It is really fun. I played it a couple months, about a month ago or so. It's like one of those games. Like I'm really bored. I have a few minutes. Like I pop it in, play a match or two, smile the whole time while doing it, and then come back another month.
Yeah.
I'm
was
hoping
obsessed
this year I get a Switch so I can play Splatoon actually.
You should get a Switch. The next one's going to come out soon,
Yeah.
probably.
I know.
But yeah, Splatoon is one of those games that's like, it's easy. You could play just a few minute matches and you can have fun with that, or you can, you know what? I am going to get good at this, and I'm going to like grind armor sets that are like specifically the best ones for my build and everything. And like you could spend hundreds of hours in that game just grinding out armor sets. What are they called? Oh, I forget. But like you wash your you unlock abilities for your gear, modifiers for your gear in they're kind of random. So as your gear levels up, you unlock random abilities, and then you get that ability washed,
Oh.
and you can get new abilities added on to it. So I have one piece of armor that has perfect. I think it's ink, walking in ink. I have like times 2, times 4, times 16, times 32 stats on it. So I'm very good at walking in ink, and all my other ones are just not quite there.
That's crazy. That's not how I thought Splatoon 2's multiplayer was. Like, I didn't think the characters each like their own kind of progression like that. I thought it was just like a team against a team sort of deal.
Oh, it is, but you level up your own like gear, really. Like you're just kind of like, okay, my shoes need better stats, so
Shoe.
I'm going to use these shoes a lot to get them leveled up. So that's
They need better souls.
They need better. Ooh, they do need better souls.
Thank you, Alex. That took a
No,
lot
thank
of
you.
work.
Thank you for the setup. You picked that
You
night
provided that.
out of the
Oh
park.
god.
But yeah, so I've been playing a lot of Splatoon 2. I've also been playing, and there's going to be a review going up on the website, linkcablegaming.com, very soon, for Orange Blood. So this game came out a little
Orange
while
Blood.
ago. So it's Orange Blood. It is it's not spooky at all. But it is a JRPG. And it's a pretty generic JRPG, except for the theme is kind of hip hop, gangster rap, street wars.
Oh, perfect title for you. Excellent.
Yes, I am very much into the gangster rap. Actually, you know what? I do have Tupac's Greatest Hits. I have that CD still.
That is a classic.
It is a very good one. But yeah, I've been playing Orange Blood. It's a JRPG, but it's like you go into fights and like instead of like a sword or like a magic attack, you have an Uzi. And then it's got these like
Oh, shit,
lo-fi
doesn't it?
hip hop beats while you're fighting. It's pretty cool. But yeah,
Wait, what is it
yeah,
called?
it's
I
like-
was trying
yeah.
to say it's Orange Blood.
Orange Blood.
Orange Blood.
I feel like I just looked at this game. Oh, okay, yep. I saw. I'm thinking of something else. I saw. Whoa, shoot. Let me see.
Purple Blood?
No, I thought it was a
Blood.
color. What was I going to ask you about earlier?
Yeah.
Keep going. I'll find this.
Green Blood?
No.
Oh, I don't have much else to say about it. It's just that it's,
Yeah.
I've been playing it.
Red,
Review is
red.
going to come up soon.
Nice.
But yeah, I was really interested in it because like I play a lot of JRPGs. I don't know if you can tell.
What?
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 I've got the lights dimmed down. You can't tell what's behind me.
The spooky collection.
Spooky. Red Lantern.
But
That's what I was
I've
looking
never-
at earlier.
Oh, Red Lantern looks really good. I want to try
So-
that one too.
Not to sidetrack
Um,
us from all this, but I have the Epic Game Store. You have those free coupons they give you. Like if you spend $15, they give you $10 off. You got one for just downloading Rocket League for free, and then another one I got a couple months prior. But they both expire at the end of the month. Well, I think one expires the end of this month, and one expires the 1st of November. So I'm trying to find something to buy, and I kept looking at this Red Lantern game because I kept seeing you get to play with the dogs and stuff. It looked fun. But the reviews are not looking so hot, so that's a little bit
Oh, they're
discouraging.
not. Oh, I hadn't seen that. That was
Um,
one I was wondering what happened to it because it was announced a million years ago, and then we didn't hear anything about it.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's for good reason.
It's like a dog sledding simulator.
Yeah, it is. It looks
Sure.
cute. I wanted to get that Iron Harvest game you wanted, but they delayed it on Steam.
Oh, it's so good.
But it's delayed on Epic. You can't get it on there now.
Oh, I still think you should get it on whatever you can get it on. It is very, very good.
It does look really good.
I turned the lights down too, Alex. Let's make this really spooky.
Wow.
We're getting really into the zone tonight. I'm digging it, Alex.
Yeah.
Turn the helmet.
Yeah, I've been playing Splatoon 2 and Orange Blood. So that's
Okay.
been my week.
What were you saying about Orange Blood? You went to what with it?
I went to what? But it's kind of like what I'm interested in with it is it's a JRPG in a setting that I've never seen a JRPG with this style before. Like this gangster rap. It's very mature. Like it is very much like playing a violent rap album with anime girls. So it's really weird. So I really like it. again, like I'll have the full review up, and it's not a perfect game. It does have some issues with how like combat works and menus work. It's a bit like it's not very polished, but it's so cool from just a design point of view. Like
A design perspective, yeah.
and it's in a cyberpunk world. Like it takes place in like I think like the 2050s or something. So you've got this like gangster rap attitude in a futuristic world with anime girls. It's like
Aesthetic.
it's so weird. But
Does it mesh well?
like it. Does it mesh well? Yeah, it meshes really well.
Sick.
Yeah.
Question for you, Alex.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to talk about one of the reviews and
No,
releases
you're
we
not
got?
allowed to talk about it yet.
Not yet. Not until
Top
next Wednesday.
secret.
No.
Top secret. All right.
Save
Be
your
sure to tune in.
save your Minesweeper review for next time.
Yes, we're saving. It's a special Minesweeper discussion. So make sure you check back next week for our topic on Minesweeper. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's. If you guys want to, we can start talking about our favorite spooky games of all time. And I want to talk about one right now because I have it right in front of me. If that's all right.
Please
With
do.
everyone.
Alex.
Yes.
Let's see Alex's spooky game. What is
Eternal
Alex?
Darkness on the
I
GameCube.
can't see how.
I don't
Holy
declare.
crap.
Oh yeah, I have that game too.
Alex.
I never played it.
It's
Whoa.
very spooky.
It's pretty bad. I've never touched
That
it.
is
So bad.
old school, man.
Oh, it's not even the most old school one I want to talk about. But yeah, Eternal Darkness. I started playing
Props.
this not to. I only bought it like 2 years ago. I'd never had this game back when I was like when the GameCube was like a
Relevant.
current
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And I finally found it on eBay at a price that I was willing to pay for it.
Hey, what does that game go for?
It's
It goes
expensive.
for it goes for the price of a full price new game.
Wow.
It's
I
so,
should
like,
sell
still
mine.
current.
I got mine for like $5 one day at a GameStop or something, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll try this.
People don't understand those games as value. It's a long term one.
I should try
Well,
selling some of these.
I remember going into an EB Games back when I was like a teenager, and I saw Eternal Darkness for $5, and I was like, nah,
Yeah.
that's not for me, and I passed on it.
Yeah.
And then I paid $60 for it like last year
Wow.
or 2 years ago.
Absolutely. Yeah. It holds on.
Yeah, but it is a very good game, and it's one of those games that like I don't know. It's kind of like it's a trick you can only pull once with like it's the sanity meter. So the game's whole idea is that the game messes with you.
Yeah.
It'll like drop your volume completely. It'll turn off your TV. It'll say, "Oh, your memory
And the
card's been
character
corrupted."
reacts.
Yeah,
And the character reacts to that, man.
yeah, and I knew that going I knew that was the game's like
Mm-hmm.
hook going
Gimmick.
into it.
Yeah.
And even then, like the first time it happened, I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "Oh no!" Like my memory card was
Spooky.
corrupted. It was
Spooky.
but like, yeah, the first time it happens, it threw me off because I'm not expecting to see this. And then after that, you kind of start like looking for it. You're like, "Oh, when's the game gonna mess with me? When's the game gonna mess with me?"
You're just
Totally.
And
waiting
it
for
doesn't
now.
always. Like it's very it's not random. It's tied to how you're doing in the game, but it's very much it can come up like almost randomly, and like it's the kind of game that if you not pay attention to it, it'll get you.
Yeah.
Which is really impressive for a GameCube game. And I really want them, and like I'm not saying I want like the original developer. I want someone to make this kind of idea again, but with a control like controllers nowadays they've got microphones, they've got like all these fancy ways of like
lights.
getting input in.
Yeah.
Like you can mess with people so well with these things. Like
Especially like with
And
the
no one-
rumbles.
yeah. And like the PS5's got these adaptive triggers, right? Like
Mhm.
that's a
Yep.
big thing where they're like I think it was Deathloop was like the developers were saying that if your gun jams, you actually cannot physically press the trigger down. The trigger will lock in place and you can't press it down anymore. And I was like, well, that's great. Like you could scare the crap out of people with that. Like in a horror game, you've got a ghost, a very
horror
scary
game,
ghost
yeah.
coming at you, and then you go to shoot it and,
And
you
you-
can't. Like,
Or you can't run away. Like your button to run stops working,
Yeah.
so you.
and like the microphone could
Sick.
always be listening, and if you're like, oh shit, this is really scary, you've got like the game can react to that. Like it's such a cool idea. Everyone is working on like these hyper scripted spooky moments, where Eternal Darkness felt more like it was just messing with you when it felt like it.
It's
And
like
that
a
was really,
mental,
really cool.
like, just F you, basically.
Mental game.
Yeah.
It is.
So
Hey, Alex.
What year did
Yeah.
that come out? Do you remember? Really quick.
2003
God.
or 2004,
Okay.
2?
or maybe 2002. Maybe I can read. I can't. It's ghosts have a hard time
Probably.
seeing out of their ghost holes.
The ghost holes.
So they have ghost glasses, people.
Yeah. 2000. Wait, what does this say?
I don't know if it's better if I shut
2002.
My camera.
Ooh.
I should probably hide my
Oh.
scary hair.
Oh. Scary Kevin.
My
Yeah.
spooky.
You're not home
spooky,
alone with
messy
him.
hair. I'll just go
You're
back
not
to
home
the
alone with him. He's home alone with you.
pizza.
Alex, to add on to it, I don't believe, have you beaten Bloodborne or played through it enough?
I haven't even played it.
You haven't even played it. So
No.
Bloodborne does a feature very similar to Eternal Darkness in that it has its own insanity meter, and it's
Oh.
yeah, but it's not essentially. So it's part scripted and part the things you do. So if you're
Mhm.
so Bloodborne, because it's also a scary horror game, is like very cosmic horror, which is personally, I was going to bring this up later, my scariest form of horror. But what happens in Bloodborne essentially is that the more you see like twisted, messed up creatures, you gain like an
Mhm.
extra point of insight. The more insight you have by seeing like bosses, messed up things, the more the game you can see things in the world that weren't there before. So basically,
Okay.
but the things you see are monstrous and terrifying. Like now you see these giant tentacled aliens that are grabbing the building you just walked through in on, and like it almost as you play the landscape changes. Like when you start the game to when you finish, even though it's the same general map, almost feels like a
Mhm.
second layer just because now you can see all the creepy crawlies that are everywhere, and it kind of messes with you like that because it's terrifying. Yeah, they have I thought that was kind of like a different evolution on that take.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that, so that's really cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, but okay. So that's my first one. That's my first horror game shout out.
Ooh.
It was to Eternal Darkness, because I don't think there's a lot like it out there.
Mm.
Like, and it's really sad because they were working on a. This was back in like the Wii U days.
Yeah.
Like, they were working on a kind of. It wasn't a sequel, but it was the same kind of ideas. And no, like I think they went to Kickstarter and they didn't even get it funded.
I heard it went
was not-
bankrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, the developers of Eternal Darkness they were the people who made 2 Human back on the 360, and that game bombed completely. So, like, the developer Silicon Knights doesn't exist anymore.
Silicon Knights. Silicon Knights.
Nintendo still owns.
So much.
Yeah, Nintendo still owns the Eternal Darkness like
IP?
brand, but they're not doing anything with it.
Silicon Knights. The reason why Eternal Darkness and 2 Human are huge games of my childhood. Now, I never played it, but my friends all played it who had GameCubes. Was Silicon Knights is actually from the city I'm from, St. Catharines, Niagara.
Yes, they are.
So like in the Niagara region, we had huge rep for Silicon Knights, so everyone always played their games and bought their merch directly from them. I actually have a signed copy of 2 Human with all of the publishers, all the developers' names on it.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, we loved Silicon Knights back, but then they got into the whole argument with Epic, and then they got bankrupt. And it was awful.
That's
Yeah.
But Silicon Knights was huge company for us growing up. They were like our video game kind of like it company. It was
Idols.
yeah, legit,
Yeah.
because they were like our homegrown like video game developers that are now making crazy titles. It was really cool to see.
Mhm.
But what's the second game,
Who wants
Alex?
to go next? Oh, so how are we doing this?
We
didn't
should
plan.
go
This
around a
is
circle. I
unscripted.
like what you had. So we should, or whoever was just. I'll go next. That's what I'm.
It's Alex.
I'm going.
Alright,
we'll
go
just keep
now.
going in a circle because I have a couple too. We'll try and drag this out because this is kind of the
Nice.
meat of the story.
Yep.
Of the show.
What a spooky joke!
Spooky puns.
I'm playing spooky noises in the background. I'm wondering if it's really annoying to people listening or if it's cool. I got crows.
It's only once a year they can deal.
Actually, I don't know if you can even hear it. Zombie growls, insect swarm, contraption,
Contraption.
noise. I don't know. All right, so my spooky game that I play almost every single year on Halloween for just a little bit is Costume Quest because
You brought that up once.
I did. I have. And every year on Halloween, I play it for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. I just do a little bit of grinding, and I only play that game on Halloween every year. I'm on the second one right now.
What
so
is Halloween? What is it?
It's like a turn-based RPG game, and your kids in costumes, and you can change costumes, but depending on what costume you are is what you become when you go to battle. So if I'm a piece of pizza and I go into battle, as soon as the battle starts, I'm a real piece of pizza. I'm not a child anymore. If you go into if you start a battle, you become Master Chief and you have all of his abilities. It's so cool. And it's that silly. Like there's a couple costumes that are ridiculous. Like there's one that's a clown, you turn into a real clown and you use like you bounce around and hit people. There's this guy that's like, oh, it's the Statue of Liberty and she comes alive. There's what else is there? Like just ridiculous thing. I think there's a werewolf you can become. And you have to go door to door to trick or treat to get candy, and you have to try to do this stuff and rescue your sister or your brother, depending which one you pick at the beginning of the game. And it's pretty fun. But like I said, I only played it on Halloween. It's like I usually do it when we were passing out candy, but no kids ever show up to our house, so I end up playing it the whole time. But it's a lot of fun. So that's my.
What's it on?
It's on.
cool.
Oh, it's on
That's really
like
cool.
everything.
See?
All consoles, PC. It's on, I believe, Switch now. So you can find it anywhere. It's actually the free game, I think, this week on Epic Game. So
Oh.
I don't know if it's the first or second, but one of them is available for free. So I would definitely grab that. So that's a fun spooky game. All right, your turn, Zahi. What's
then-
your spooky game?
I'll be honest, I just back to like the game. It's just you had brought it up a little while ago, and I'm glad you're actually bringing it back up because I forgot you mentioned how much you like that game. Why
It's
do you
so
only play it
silly.
on Halloween?
I don't know. It's just a thing I do. I don't
Makes
concentrate
sense.
well, so me trying to play one certain game is very difficult because I see something shiny while I'm playing, and then I have to go do that, or a new game comes out, and then I got to go play that one. So this is my concentration to look at that game, and I play it on Halloween, and it gets me all like giddy and happy because it's Halloween, and I play spooky music while I'm playing it, and it's fun.
What are some of your favorite costumes from it?
I'm trying to remember. It's been since last year. Let's see.
It's been since last Halloween.
Let me see what they are. Gosh, oh, there's the candy corn. That one's pretty funny. The clown that I mentioned. Oh, the pterodactyl. I remember that one. The robot is another one you get. Statue of Liberty. There's a ninja. I haven't gotten him yet. A pumpkin. A vampire. There's French fries. His
My
ability.
favorite costume.
No, listen to this. His ability is called Salt Assault. It's called Salt and Hot Grease stuns all enemies for one turn. Isn't that
Jesus.
great? It's such a cute, fun little game.
That's really good.
There's a black cat, and then there's Grubbins, which are like the bad guys. But
It
there's quite a
reminds
few.
me of like being a kid again, and when you're wearing like cheap Halloween costumes, but like you're like play rolling or play imagining them as like the real Statue of Liberty with your
Yeah.
friends, and you're like, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. When you go into the battles, you really are the clown that you're
Yes,
wearing.
exactly, and you get the powers. There's a unicorn.
Yeah.
You pumpkin, ninja, vampire, space warrior, Statue of Liberty, a knight, and a robot. Like, come on.
Space Warrior right here, baby.
They're so
Look,
cute.
Look at
The-
all
there
these
you go.
The
ones.
pterodactyl, that one
it's not-
that one kills me.
It's not even the armor. I swear, it is all me under this.
There's a pterodactyl. There's like a little funny. It's so
The
good.
armor wears you.
The armor wears me, people. It adapts to me.
Oh, there's even more. You can be Jefferson, a wizard, wolfman, a pharaoh, a hot dog, a floss robot, solar. There's so many. I can't wait to play this game some more. And this weekend, Halloween's or this year, Halloween's on a Saturday, so I'm gonna be able to play it a lot more than I usually do. Because usually,
I
it's a work
know.
night, can't stay up. So I guess I'll be playing that all night.
I'm happy. I'm happy we get to see this literal childlike innocence coming out of Kevin. He's like, no, I just,
It's so fun. It's such a cute
It's
little
so
game.
great.
Seriously, you gotta check it out, especially if it's free on
There it
Epic.
is,
If it's
there it
free
is.
on Epic, you gotta play it. It's good. All right, Zahi, what's your
Okay,
spooky
we gotta
game?
check it out.
What's your spooky game next?
My spooky game. Oh God.
Spooky game.
I have so many spooky games. So horror is probably like one of my favorite genres ever, and I tend not to get scared from horror too much, and I get more scared from like psychological thriller games. Those tend to like spook me out even more. But the only horror game that has given me a genuinely difficult time finishing, the only one ever, is Outlast, and that is.
Oh, Outlast scares me way too much to play.
That game is just too
Thank
spooky
you.
for me. I couldn't play it.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so I have beaten so many horror games, like classic good horror games. But I don't know what it is about that game. It scares the shit out of me. I'm not gonna say that again on the air. But that game is rather fluffing scary. Like I can't handle the way things run at me, that I can't fight back, and I think it spawned a whole genre of games like that, where you're like unable to act, unable to fight back. You know, there were other games that did that, like Amnesia, Dark Descent, and they all did it like roughly around the same time. And I just every year I try to get back on the PlayStation and turn it on just for like 1 hour in broad daylight. I can't. It still terrifies me of this game, and I want to beat it so badly. But like,
Oh, that game, I remember I had to review it for the website
Awful.
a while ago, a good while ago. And I was like, I'm a professional ghost. I will do my job and do it well. And I was like, I would not play that game if it wasn't like noon on a bright sunny day. Like I just couldn't
Yeah.
handle it. It was so scary.
I can't. Did you end up
it's the
beating it?
helplessness. Yeah, I beat it. It was the Trinity connection too, so I had to do it twice.
Ooh.
Nice.
And it was just, I remember just being like numb by the end of it. I was like, I'm so horrified. I'm not listening to what the game is telling me. I just want to finish it and move on. I was using an FAQ at one point to like, how do I get through this as fast and painlessly as possible?
Are you for real?
Oh, I was not having a good time. It was too scary.
Do you remember what you gave it? Because now even I'm curious.
I don't, honestly. I think it was like in the 8s.
Nice. Yeah, it was a good in the 8s. The second version was quite good, actually. I played the second game, Outlast 2, at Fan Expo Toronto back in like 2018. Yeah, I think around 2017, 2018. It was pretty good, but as much as I wanted to play Outlast 2, I still can't finish Outlast 1, and I'm surprised. Like, horror games typically don't have me being like, nope, not doing this, done. But it's the thrillery aspect of it that really got me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's. Oh.
Have you- Have you ever played it, Kevin?
Yeah, for a little bit, and it scared the shit out of me, so that was it. I think it was on, I don't know if it was the first or second one I played, but it was the one that was on the PS4 towards the launch of it.
First one.
Maybe it was the first one then. I did not care for it. I was like, you know what? I'll just wait for another game to come out to play on my PS4 because this is not for me. I don't do good in
No.
spooky games at all. I can do if there's a bunch of people around playing. Like Resident Evil 7 was like almost too spooky for me. Like that scared the shit out of me in many times. So that right there just was enough. I like spooky games, but they get me.
Yeah, me too, man.
I'm not brave.
I pick Outlast. Kevin picks Costume Party. Costume Quest.
Costume Quest. Okay, Alex, do you have another spooky game for us?
Hit me.
I do. And this is so Outlast is maybe the second scariest game I've ever played because this is the first
Amen,
scariest
brother.
game. Let me reach out for it because don't have great hands here. So this is Dead Space Extraction on the Wii. Specifically on the Wii. So Dead Space is a pretty scary series to start with. But I specifically chose Dead Space Extraction on the Wii because it's an on-rail shooter.
Yes.
And the thing with an on-rail shooter is you have no control over where you're going and what you're looking at. It is like being on the most horrifying roller coaster, and you have no control over anything. You are just
A
along
bystander?
for the ride. And because in a game like Outlast,
Spooky.
you can say oh, I don't want to go over there yet. I'm not mentally ready to go over there yet.
I am not prepared.
There's a scene early on in Dead Space Extraction where there's a vent that's open, and there's monsters in there, and
They
the
make
game's
you
just
go
we're going in head first into this vent, and it's just moments like that where it's like you don't get to choose what we scare you with. This is going to be a roller coaster that you cannot get off of.
Okay, I legitimately have to ask Alex. I saw Dead Space Extraction. I saw it on the Wii. I'm like, there's no way this game is scary.
It is
No way at all.
It is horribly scary. It's also a really the Dead Space series is not afraid to be disturbing.
No, it's not at all.
And there's a scene early on. And
Those games are so
10-year-old
scary
game,
already.
spoil whatever.
I
Mhm.
couldn't. The first Dead Space is freaking terrifying.
Yeah. There's a scene early on in Dead Space Extraction where someone is going mad because the necromorphs are in her head, and she decides to take her own life. And it's just you can't look away because the camera, which you have no control over, says you're looking at this. And it's
That's
just
crazy.
It's also a very good traditional horror game in the sense it doesn't give you a lot of bullets or a lot of charges for your guns. So you are constantly searching for bullets and kind of have this stress of I need to be able to defend myself because this game will not stop. And then the ending of it, I won't give full spoilers, but it's very much like Saw
Space?
1, where if you guys remember the ending of Saw 1, how you get
Just
how
like
they
a complete rug pull.
how they get away from the being
Yeah.
tied down. You have to do that, and you have to do that on the Wii, which is motion control. So you're actually doing the motion of hacking.
Oh, so you
off
die
a
because
limb.
your motion controls don't work. I get it. That's scary.
Yeah. But this game actually is
Good part.
one of the best uses, and this is part's not scary, but just a fun fact of the Wii Zapper. This actually uses the Wii Zapper in a really cool way. But yeah,
That's kind of cool.
Wii
actually.
Zapper, Alex.
it's just like plastic shell. You put your Wii remote in.
It's fun. I used to have it.
Sick.
I probably do somewhere.
But yeah, Dead Space Extraction.
I'm
Absolutely horrifying game.
so surprised,
So
Alex.
scary.
Alex, I am absolutely surprised at this. When I saw that game, I thought it was gonna be some trashy, crummy, on rails shooter that's separated from the game, and it's when they do that, it's like Dead Space, but Extraction, and on the Wii, I'm so not expecting the hype that you're giving this game. I'm really surprised.
This was one of the very few Wii third-party games that was actually developed by developed by the studio that did the mainline game. So Visceral Games made this game.
Wow.
They didn't send it down to like a
Crazy.
lesser team to do.
Yeah, that's
Um,
crazy.
So definitely check. Like honestly, like this is a fresh recommendation. Check this game out if you really want to get scared. I think it got an HD remaster on PS3. I don't have that,
Wow.
but yeah, like Dead Space Extraction actually gave me nightmares. It was because it's like I said, you can't look away because it's an on-rail shooter. You are following its pace, and it is perfectly paced to scare the crap out of you.
So jealous of that. That's I want to check it out actually.
It's like
I love on-rail
$10
games.
on eBay. If you have a Wii, you can play this game for like $10 on eBay. It's super cheap.
I love on rails games. They're so nostalgic, and I feel like I'm playing like back at like arcade shooters when I'm a kid, and like having a horrifying Dead Space version of one just seems so palpable. Like I could definitely take that.
It is really, really good, and I it's one of those like I love bringing it out in conversations like this when we talk about scary games because
It's hitting me out of nowhere.
No one thinks of the Wii as a console with a lot of scary games, and it actually does have quite a few. Like it has a few Resident Evil games, it has a Silent Hill game, it has a lot of anime-styled horror games too that are like $1 million if you ever try to find them. But it is $1 million. The bones are there. Yeah, no, that's my second game. I wanted to give a shout out to Dead Space Extraction. It is the scariest game I've ever played. It is scarier than Outlast. Like, hands down.
All right.
All right, Kevin, what's up? What's next?
All right, so my next spooky game is this one's actually spooky. It's not just kids getting candy, and it may not be scary to everybody, but the presentation of this game, and if you have a good setup in your house or your living room, wherever your gaming area is, with at least 5.1, 7.1 surround sound, or have a good set of headphones that do virtual surround or their physical surround in them, and you get in there and you start playing Alan Wake, you're gonna shit your pants because this game is so freaky.
How do people find that game scary?
It's so spooky. If you've never played this game at like 1 a.m. with like 1 or 2 friends, and it will scare you because the presentation of the game just sets you up in like this spooky, creepy, like I think it's Seattle or something. It's like getting dark out and the lights aren't working and the voice acting is so good and just it just feels like you're in a spooky movie.
It's really good.
It's just so good. At the same time, we got a lot of laughs out of it because some of it is kind of corny. But I remember playing my friend Amanda. It was me and her and this other guy. I don't remember who he was, but my friend Amanda was there, and she would scream so loud. She wasn't even playing. She'd just sit on the couch watching, and she'd get so easily spooked. She'd be like, ah! And then we would just start laughing at her because she'd be screaming it so that it wasn't even scary.
Oh my god.
But just having like the speakers behind you when you have 5.1, and you can like hear, okay, something just happened over there, and you're like looking, you don't see anything, you look back, and all of a sudden there's this creature coming at you, and all you got is a freaking flashlight shooting at him because you're out of bullets. It can be terrifying. So
I've never played Alan Wake. So I don't have like a first-hand experience. But
It's a good game.
It's not very long. You
What
can
I
get
keep
through
hearing
pretty
is
quick,
that
but it's good.
What I keep hearing about Alan Wake is it's the kind of game that was like, oh, it was almost great. Like it's
That's what I say.
just not there.
I played Alan Wake when it came out with my buddy back in like high school, and we're sitting there and we're playing the game together because we're like sharing Xboxes, and the dude is sitting there terrified. He's like, "This game is so scary, man," and I'm like,
Amazing.
"This game is really corny, man." And he's like, he's pillow holdingly, like nail bitingly scared of this game. And I'm like, come on, dude, it's not that spooked. And like, I'll give it credit. There were like some legit good scares there. And when like I ran out of batteries for the flashlight, I was like, shit, what am I gonna do now? And it had some really good funny moments, but I don't know why. I have talked to so many people, and they all find that game absolutely like scary. And I'm like, bruh, it's not even hitting my like scary, palpable taste buds.
That's
Like,
pretty
I
rough.
remember my friend's expression, just horrified.
It kind of has a Stephen King vibe.
It has a
doesn't
Stephen
Like,
King
kinda
vibe.
like-
That's exactly it. Thank you.
Mm.
100% Stephen King vibe.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's like about an author who's a little bit creepy, and all this shit keeps happening to him. That's exactly what it is, and I think that's the vibe they were trying to go for, and they nailed it, because it is such a creepy
It like
universe.
nailed it.
It was a good game. I don't know if it still stacks up to being like good today, but man, back then in like 2013,
Like,
14, 9. What year was that came out?
right, 2009. 2009
I
or
bet it
8.
was 2011.
But it
Let's
was
see.
like-
I say 2010.
All right, I say
I
2011.
say 208.
I
say
20
2008.
Oh, it's 2010.
Yeah, the ghost.
Ah.
That was so close.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
That was a good game. All right,
One for the goat.
Zahi, what's your next spooky game here?
So Alex kind of stole my spooky game, sort of.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I actually was gonna pick the original Dead Space, but
Very good
Alex
game.
beat. Also a very good game, but Alex beat
Very
me to the
spooky.
punch because he picked Extraction, and I think Extraction's a better overall pick. I was gonna pick Dead Space 1 specifically because
As long as you don't
just-
pick Dead Space 3, which is not a good game.
Is it really that bad?
So it is okay.
It's not a good
Having-
scary game.
It's not a good scary game, but it's not a good scary game at all. Like nothing compared to Dead Space 2 or Dead Space 1, for example. But like Dead Space 3 is a good story overall. I found like
Hmm.
it was didn't get. I don't know what they did, but why there was no horror to it. Like it felt like I was playing Halo. It felt like I was playing
Yeah.
the mission, the library, but without that like depth of horror that you're like a big dude in a giant mech armor shooting zombies in space. But like I like the story and I like the ending of Dead Space 3. Wasn't no?
I was just gonna say it's not a scary game. It's
Not
It-
scary.
it reminded
Not
me a
scary
lot.
at all.
It reminded me of Lost Planet. I don't know if you guys
Ah.
remember Lost Planet.
I yeah,
Totally
I do.
like Lost Planet. Which is such a gem of an old game.
Yeah, that was on 360, wasn't it? Or was it on more?
It was. It was on 360, man. It was such a.
I'm trying to think about that. What is?
I don't know what happened to the Lost Planet series and why Lost Planet
the
2
last
such
one sold
sucked.
like 4 copies.
4.
And why the last
Yeah,
one
I do
sold
remember
like
this
4
game.
copies.
What was the
Planet
last one? Was
1
it Last
was
Planet
the
2?
shit. No, they made like a third game.
Did they? I don't even remember 2,
Ah.
let alone 3.
But it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
in
3
the-
doesn't
it
look
was-
familiar at all.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That was a good ice themed game. I love games that are like in the snow and in like tundra or like sand and desert games.
Sand and desert.
Like I have some friends who really love like for example like foresty areas in games.
Oh, it's really hard to sit in this chair with pizza on, because not only is there pizza on my front, there's a slice on my back, so I like have to keep like, and I sit like an idiot with my feet under my ass, so it's killing my back.
No, this Mjolnir armor is getting excessively heavy, I find, the longer I'm in it. It's so easy to be just a
You're
ghost.
very flexible in it though. I keep seeing you like cross your
Oh.
legs, like that's some bendy.
This armor is surprisingly custom tailored to me, actually. I'm surprised how well it fits.
Oh my gosh.
One
All
of
right.
the things about being a ghost that most people don't talk about is that it's very hot. So
He's
almost
actually
like wearing a blanket.
he's completely naked under there.
Yes, ass everything.
Yeah, we can't show that or we're gonna get kicked off YouTube. So just be happy. he's got
That's
it
why
on.
he has the sheet. That's
The
why the
sheet.
sheet is there, guys.
Oh,
That's
God.
why he's a ghost.
Anyways, Ghost Alex, what's your next spooky game to share?
All right, my next and last one right here is not a horrifying game. It's not a particularly scary game, but when I got it, it was maybe the most unsettling game I've ever played, and it's my favorite game of all time. It's Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask is freaking creepy.
It is. Pretty
Majora's
creepy.
Mask is very creepy. Put that down. Oh no, I dropped it.
Oh no!
It's ghosts don't have hands.
Good.
So Majora's Mask.
Sorry.
I remember I got it when it came out. It was brand new. I got it. It was a Christmas gift that year, and I like ran into my room, which was in the basement, so it was like extra spooky. And like I had played Ocarina of Time like maybe like a dozen times over. And Ocarina of Time is a much more like bright, cheery game overall. Like it has its dark moments, but they're not particularly like horrifying. Majora's Mask, like I remember like all of a sudden I was like not bummed out, but I was really into like all of a sudden I was really into goth things after playing
Goth
Majora's
things.
Mask.
Do you have a goth
I
face?
love the idea of a goth Alex.
Oh,
Just putting that out to the
you
universe.
did not know me in high school. But anyway,
You were
like-
you were a goth kid.
I was a
Yes.
metalhead. I was a metalhead. but,
Yes,
like,
even better.
like there was a goth. I had a goth streak in me too. I remember like okay. Side note. I remember being like, people would ask like, "Oh, who's your favorite author?" And I'd be like, Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh my
Is it-
god.
Oh god.
Spooky.
I don't. If people ask me who my favorite author is, I don't
So
even know
spooky.
who I would say. I would be like, the only author I can think of that's not J.K. Rowling is like Roald Dahl from that wrote like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Who's your favorite
I go
author
through
love-
phases.
right now?
I would have loved to see that Alex phase. My favorite is Edgar Allan Poe. I'm like, oh, I would have bled. I'm like, yes, homie.
Jeez.
Oh,
Raven is a great poem. But yeah, so like Majora's Mask unsettled me, and it's a very spooky game. Like it has this unsettling atmosphere. Like the world is always ending in 3 days. You've got the moon just staring at you the entire time.
Like an angry
and
face.
Yeah, an angry face, but there's also like this just general feeling in the game of like all the NPCs have kind of like a lot of them have just accepted their fate. Like they're like, this is the world's ending in 3 days. We're just kind of living our best life until then. It's just got this sad vibe all around, and I thought that was a perfect and like it's just unsettling, and like there are some moments in that game like when you play the Song of Healing to like Darmony for the first time or to Mikau the Zora guy, like it hits you in the feels, and it's like it hits you in a sense that it's like there's an existential dread to it all, which as a ghost I know everything about existential dread. But yeah, Majora's Mask is a game that it's not like in your face scary, but it's like it's very much a Halloween type game. Plus, like you're wearing masks and dressing up all the time.
Oh, that's true. And you're like changing form. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a very like fall, like things are kind of like I don't know. I always think
Ending.
of fall when I think of Majora's Mask. Like, it's like things are dead all around you, and it's the winter is almost here, and it's but yeah, Majora's Mask. It's just an unsettling game. It is a kind of game that gets on my nerves a bit in a very good way. It is my favorite game of all time, so I did want to give it a shout out for
Props.
that. But yeah, Majora's Mask is very spooky.
Okay, I agree.
Oh, the whole Canyon of the Dead part. Like, that part is so good. And it's like so sad.
It's
I have a
spooky.
question about Majora's Mask. Having never
Yeah.
played it, but I like one day, man, you're gonna sit with me for a stream, and we're gonna play this game nonstop.
Oh, alright.
I'm just assigning it now. It's happening. Majora's Mask. So everyone has this like version of like existential horrific dread that's happening in the game. Like, what do they do? Like, do they all know the meteor is crashing? Are they just like chilling?
Well-
Like, what are they doing?
Well, some are trying to go on with their lives and like kind of like maybe it'll be better. Like there's almost some of them think a hero is coming. It's like the hero always comes, and like sometimes he just doesn't. Some are just deniers. It's kind of like, you know, deniers of climate change or things like that. They're like, oh, yo, that's just a hoax. Don't worry about it. The moon isn't gonna fall. Are you crazy?
That's
So there's
hilarious.
that. And then there's some who are just like, we are evacuating. We're going to the ranch, and we're going to ride out the apocalypse together.
Cool.
So there's a whole lot of like different NPCs, and that's one thing that Majora's Mask does better than I think most Zelda games or most games in general. Is
What?
every single NPC matters. So you actually have this item, this notebook that keeps track of like their daily schedule and where they're going, who they're talking to, and Majora's
Jeez.
Mask, unlike Ocarina of Time, was all about like you're on the main quest. You are going out and you are stopping Ganondorf by collecting all the spiritual things. Majora's Mask is more about the world and like the characters. Like there's only 4 main dungeons in the game, so it's really not a lot. But there's tons and tons and tons of side quests, and the side quests actually make up the bulk of the game. So you can really get to know those characters really well.
Does the ending of the game matter if you do all the side quests or not?
Absolutely.
It's important.
Yes. There is definitely a good and a not so good ending to Majora's Mask.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you're like encouraged to actually get to know like the city and the world better in the dungeons.
If you only do the main you finish the 4 dungeons and you go fight the last boss, you are going to be so incredibly underpowered that you are probably the best Zelda player on Earth if you can beat the game by just doing that and not doing any side quests.
Sick.
Because for beating a dungeon, you get a heart container, right? That's just a Zelda trope. There's only 4 of them, and you can have up to 20 hearts, like 20, like your life bar.
Wow.
Yeesh.
And then if you want the ultimate mask that really kicks the last boss's ass, you need to collect every other mask in the game, and I think there's 24 or 23.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so if you don't do the side quests in Majora's Mask, you're playing like a third of the game. Like the bulk of the game is the side quests. Yes, Majora's Mask is very spooky, and it is my final pick of this show.
The spooky. Okay. All right. So my last pick it's a 3-piece because when I played it, I had the first, the second, and the third all together. So my pick is the old original. What is it? I'm gonna say it wrong. Alone in the Dark 1, 2, and 3 from 1992, 3, and 4.
Oh, the old
Old ones,
Wow.
and they looked like crap. But I played them on this old ass computer my parents had growing up, and to me it was the scariest shit back then. My brother and I would try to play. Not only was it like completely different than anything you played before, it was a very adult game, and we were like 4 and 5 and 6 playing this. So it was spooky, and I remember we tried and tried. I don't know if we ever actually finished any of them. I was like watching videos while you were talking to see like how far did I actually get, and I'm like, I got through. The guy beats the entire game in 50 minutes. So I'm at minute 45 right now, and I remember being at this part.
Jeez.
So I got through the game pretty good. But these games were just like, even now I bet they'd be scary because the graphics are very like giant polygons, like hardcore, but the camera angles, they would like put the camera up in the corner and like be like a bird's eye, fisheye view, whatever, looking down everything. It was kind of spaced out, and it was just spooky looking, and you had to figure out what
Nice.
objects to touch and grab. It did such a good job. I recommend you guys should take a look and just type in like Alone in the Dark, like playthrough the original first 1, 2, or 3. They're all kind of similar. I really liked 3. I think it's probably my favorite. You were like a cowboy in the end. You ended up getting like a gun, and I remember running away from these like cowboy zombies and stuff. It's a spooky series, and they kept trying to make more, but they seemed to get worse and worse as the series went on after 3. I'm looking. I don't even remember if I played 4.
There,
But I remember they did a remake maybe about.
there was that really horrible.
The one
There
where
was
you had
the
to
really
blink.
horrible like reboot.
The Xbox 360 or
Yeah,
Xbox
and you had to
one?
blink. You had to like
Yeah.
tell the
Ugh.
guy to blink, and it was so bad. I was so excited for. I mean, I'm looking at a video now of the newer one, which came out like 2014, maybe nope, maybe before that. But it's so bad. It was not. They tried to follow the same exact like, still camera. You walk around and do stuff, but it just did not work out well.
It doesn't like add up in today's age.
Not at all. But I don't know. The first 3 really scared me, and I recommend maybe not playing it because they're really old, but just watch a video for like 3 minutes and just be like, wow, we've come a long way. Because it is pretty neat. So those are my last of my big spooky games. What about you, Zahi?
It's
Last big spooky game. Okay. I don't know if you guys want, but I do have one last question after we do my last spooky game. I want to give you guys like a second to think. I was thinking, how about a quick spooky question? What is your favorite spooky weapon in video games that you've ever had to use?
Spooky weapon.
They can be anything from like a chainsaw to like candy corn as an enemy, as like an attack. Can you guys think of one?
a spooky weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I got
think.
one. But do you give your last game first, and we'll come back to that?
I do. My last game, so I feel like this is a really tailored experience of horror and may not be like traditional scary. But if anyone remembers, when Halo 1 came out, Halo Combat Evolved, I found the whole game as a whole wasn't scary. Anytime one of the central antagonists were on screen, the Flood, it turned the game into an absolute horror festival. Being only about like 10 years old when this game came out and never really playing a game like Halo where you're just this giant robot in armor, so repping the Halo was even meeting the Flood was an absolutely terrifying moment, because I beat the game with my brother, who says he's not scared of anything, but definitely the Flood got us back in the day when we were younger. And it probably scared the pants out of us. And I think the only way that the two of us could play together was when we got to like the library or like Keys or the Maw at the end was together, because we couldn't handle how scary it was. The Flood were genuinely menacing, man. I was scared anytime they would come on screen. The whole introduction to them in 343 Guilty Spark, when you spend the whole game as like this bionic jacked commando shooting down aliens left, right, and center, to bam, all of a sudden this game turned in like scary direction, and then now it's like horror and body horror and messed up aliens, and even they're afraid of the Flood. It got spooky fast, so the Flood, like as an antagonist for me in a non-horror game that made it dramatically horror, scared the absolute pants off of us. And a lot of people will say it's one of the big reasons why Halo just went from like some generic game to a larger, more popular one, was the introduction of the Flood, just because it completely shifted the narrative and how the game felt. Terrified us.
I've always find that interesting when it's like looking at games that aren't meant to be scary,
Yeah.
but have scary moments in them.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it's a good one. It's a really good one.
Spooky. Yeah,
Alright.
there's definitely a lot of games that I play that I don't think are meant to be scary, but become scary just because of other jump scares or the way that things happen, or just like you said, where it's just. Or even like Majora's Mask, that's a good example. It's like not necessarily meant to be a spooky game, but there's creepy stuff, like the creepy kid. What's the creepy kid, or what's
The
his name?
Mask.
What's the little boy's name with the mask
Skull
at the
Kid.
beginning? It's that guy.
Skull Kid.
He's freaky as shit. That gives me
Yeah.
nightmares just thinking about that. Anyways, go on. Sorry.
Oh, but that's about it for my horror game.
All right, we'll answer your question, and then I guess we'll wrap it up.
Oh yeah.
So my scary item in a game is from Metroid Prime, and it's both the Echo visor and the thermal visor. So you get these visors that like kind of change your perspective, like how you see the world. And I remember the first time, like the whole game, you can see everything just fine. Like you're just looking at them through like normal light, and then you get into this really creepy space pirate research base that's like hidden inside a glacier, so it's like half frozen and it's super creepy. And you know there's Metroids around, and you haven't met Metroids yet in the game, so like that's a big threat. And then the game's like, all right, we're turning off all the lights, and you have to use thermal vision for this entire section. And it's really unsettling because you got enemies like hanging from the ceiling. You can see in thermal light things that aren't threats because they're in like containment tubes and things like that. So like it's messing with you because you see them, but you don't know if they're like, are they in the tube? Are they not? So every time I play Metroid Prime and I get to the part where I have to switch over to the thermal visor, and then later there's the X-ray visor too, that like you see everything skeletons but nothing else. That always just gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like it spooks me out of it.
It's terrifying.
So as soon as you said that was the first thing that came to mind. I'm like, yeah. The thermal and the X-ray visor from the first Metroid Prime they are spooky things.
Best.
Spooky things. Can I go? I got mine. I'm looking at finally right now.
Go.
So it's kind of silly because this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, but like the spookiest weapon, and I think it's in any game, and Alan Wake kind of does the best of it, but the flashlight. Because especially in Alan Wake, that is like one of your main weapons. You have to hit them with it.
That is the smart pick.
But it's like in every game, it's like you got a flashlight, and it's not really a weapon sometimes. But if you don't, it's what uncovers what you're about to see. And it's like, if it's Resident Evil 7, which I'm playing, you can only see, and you only have a few bullets. You're like, I gotta save the bullets, using the flashlight to get around. And as soon as you see it, it's like, oh shit, this is what's up. A couple just to mention a few spooky games that. I don't even know if one of them uses it, but God, no, I can't think of it. What's the Alien game? But you don't have
Isolation.
yeah, that game is super freaky because you don't actually have weapons.
Alien Isolation.
That game scared the shit out of me. And the other thing that I was thinking weapon-wise, it's like a flashlight, is the camera, and that was in is that in Outlast that used the camera, or is that the other one that's similar to Outlast that I get them all confused?
Outlast uses the camera.
Okay. What's the other game I'm thinking of that's like Outlast but it's not?
Blair Witch.
Amnesia.
No, I've not actually played Amnesia.
Man, absolutely awful game to play. Never do it. It'll scare the pants off of you.
No, hang on. It'll
scare the shit off of Alex.
It's by a dude that made like Resident Evil or something. What's that series called?
Evil Within?
Evil Within, yeah. That game scares the shit out of me, too. I played a little of that one. Only a little, because I got too scared. So, yeah, there's my scary weapon. I think it's going to be flashlight, even camera, anything where you're not actually fighting things. It's just scary. You feel defenseless, and you can still see it.
Oh, that's creepy. I was actually going to... Super creepy. I think my favorite pick is gonna have to be the up close and direct Halloween weapon of all time for horror games, and it's the plasma cutter from Dead Space.
So good.
I think that is absolutely the weapon of choice to have whenever you're dealing with any kind of spooky encounter. Something gets in your range, blast its limbs off. That is my kind of defense against the horror game. Bloodborne beasts come up here, bam, plasma cutter to the face.
Whoa. Whoa.
Another kid in a costume comes to attack me, bam, plasma cutter to the face.
Plasma cutter!
Oh my god.
Do we have any other spooky things we want to talk about, or are we spooked out, or did we scare ourselves too much?
I'm all spooked.
I think I'm feeling pretty spooky tonight, boys. I think I'm gonna go play me some spooky games starting soon.
Spooky.
Yeah, me too. I got an itch now to go play Dead Space.
Oh
I know, right? I got an itch to go play Outlast.
You know, I never finished Dead Space. I got to go back and finish that. That would be a fun game to go back and play.
Should
Dead
definitely
Space is
play
very
Dead
good.
Space.
All right,
I have to
well,
say.
that's it for us then. I hope you guys all enjoyed our spooky Halloween episode.
Thank you
So,
for joining us.
yes, thank you very much for joining us. I hope you had fun. Let us know in the comments below what your favorite spooky game is. We'd love to hear it. Maybe even give us some ideas of what we could play. It's always fun to play scary games at this time of year. But we've been the Link Cable Gaming Crew. You can find us on Facebook. On
Facebook.
I've been sitting on that one for like a week.
For that one too.
You've been.
Oh my
We were on
gosh.
Twitter. We're on YouTube. And Spotify. That one doesn't work. But you can find us on all those places.
Oh, it worked.
LinkCableGaming.com, the spookiest website. So thanks. This was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed us being silly and spooky. So.
I had fun being
Spooky.
spooky. Yeah, we're gonna have to do this again. Is there
Monster Mash time.
is there Christmas games we're gonna play now or holiday games? I
Our
was gonna say
Christmas
thanks-
costumes.
I was gonna say Thanksgiving, but you guys
Yes.
you guys had your Thanksgiving already, so it's totally different.
Themed events fun. We should do it again.
Yeah.
I had fun too. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Take care.
Yeah.
Have a good
night.
Halloween. We'll see you next
Happy
week.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween.
I hope it's spooky.
Spooky. Bye, guys.